First man to walk on the moon.
It'll be a hell of a ride.
We need to fail down here so we don't fail up there.
The entire world's watching.
3, 2, 1.
First Man on Blu-ray January 22nd.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Tonight on the SEC ESPN Network, it's college gymnastics. The North Carolina State Wolfpack comes to Baton Rouge to face the LSU Tigers. We bring you inside the beautiful and jam-packed Maravich Assembly Center for college gymnastics on this Friday night with Kaylee Dixon-Abood, a former two-time all-around All-America. I'm Lynn Rollins. Kaylee, LSU incrementally has improved each week of the season. Week 3 was better than week 2. Last week, LSU produced its biggest score of the year.
LSU has proved to execute more consistent and more confident gymnastics as the weeks progress, and that proved to be true last week versus Alabama. They went 197-450, beat Alabama. They had hit handstands, stuck landings on the dismounts, and that's why they went away with a big W.
We're in week 5 of a 12-week regular season. Where should LSU be right now, and what does it want to take from this meet?
LSU is definitely hoping to build the momentum that they started from last week. They want to hit more handstands, stick even more dismounts, do clean gymnastics, and even exercise depth in each of their lineups. So we're going to be seeing a few new faces tonight.
We're also going to be seeing a very familiar old face in Sarah Finnegan. Sarah Finnegan a year ago was the SEC Gymnast of the Week. In the first 4 meets this year, she has either won outright or tied for first place in the all-around. Truly one of the best gymnasts in the country.
Absolutely, and you'll see why just watching her. Her gymnastics is beautiful. It's very clean, very consistent. You know exactly what you're going to get from her as soon as she steps foot on the equipment.
And she's got a teammate, Kennedy Edney, who's just a notch behind in the all-around.
I mean, Kennedy Edney is just a powerhouse. She's only a junior, and she's got 28 total titles, and she's just proven to be another one of LSU's top all-arounders, not only for LSU, but in the country as well.
Well, this is not SEC competition tonight, but what do we know about the North Carolina State Wolfpack?
They came off a great 2018 season. Kim Landris, head coach, led them to the East Atlantic League Championships, and they also finished 3rd at the NCAA Regionals last year. Although their scores aren't as high as LSU's has been this season, they're improving week after week and continuously getting better.
Well, there is Kim Landris, about whom you just spoke, in her 2nd season at North Carolina State. 8 consecutive appearances in NCAA Regionals, 7 of them at Illinois. So she is moving this program up into greater respectability. And tonight, she will be participating against the most veteran head coach in the history of the Southeastern Conference, Dee Bro, in her 42nd season as LSU head coach. Nobody in the SEC in any sport has ever coached longer than Dee Bro.
Absolutely. I mean, she's a legend.
And we are set to go here.
Sarah Finnegan for LSU first up. A beautiful Yurchenko layout full, perfectly stuck.
This place is already rocking. There are very few empty seats in the Maravich Assembly Center as gymnastics continues to explode and blossom in Baton Rouge. Here's the lineup for North Carolina State. Robinson, Grantham, Brooker, Tamburo, Fillard, and Kent on bars.
She is a freshman. She got a 9.775 on bars in her collegiate debut. She's got a great routine going so far. Pack salto down to the low bar. Nice handstand pirouette. Back up to the high bar for her dismount. Blind full, right into a double tuck, and a tiny hop on the landing, but overall a great start for NC State.
A very solid performance by Meredith Robinson, the freshman out of Huntersville, North Carolina. Sarah Finnegan, by the way, was 9.875 in the opening vault. As you see the LSU lineup, Ruby Harold is upcoming with McKenna Kelly, Lexi Priestman, Sarah Edwards, and Kennedy Edney. Harold, the junior out of Bristol, England.
Ruby has a nice Yurchenko full and a half. We'll see if she's going to do it tonight. There it is. She had a lot of power on that. That's why she took that step forward. You want a stuck landing, but you'd rather over-rotate than under-rotate.
It looked good in the air, but a little bit of a forward step right here.
Got her chest down a little bit. Just couldn't stop it, but it was very, very powerful. That vault starts from a 10-0. As we all probably remember, they changed the rules. Yurchenko full now starts from a 9-9, and the full and a half is a 10-0 start value. Made it a little bit more difficult there on vault for college gymnastics.
Here's Drew Grantham, second up on bars for North Carolina State. Drew out of Durham, North Carolina. She's a junior.
Kick past handstand. Right into a Tkachev. Handstand a little bit short, right into a bail hand. Toe shoot up to the high bar. A little short on that last handstand. Just going for a dismount. And a nice double layout with a tiny hop on the landing, but overall a pretty solid routine from Drew.
Her teammate, Meredith Robinson, opened on bars at 9.75. Ruby Harold was judged 9.8 on the last LSU vault.
See Drew's dismount again. Huge double layout. A tiny hop on the landing, but a great start over on bars. Two consistent routines.
Here's McKenna Kelly, the junior out of Houston, Texas.
Her vault will also start from a 10-0. Pike path, very nicely done.
She's powerful in the air, isn't she?
Absolutely. She has nice pop off the table. She saw the landing. It's very, very well executed. Handspring pike half. Small hop on the landing, but overall that was very beautiful. That should score well.
Alyssa Brooker up next on bars.
Handstand. Toe hand to Shapash up to the high bar. Bail hand. Nice handstand. She finished right on top. That's exactly what the judges are looking for. You want to be completely vertical. And a nice stuck landing out of her double layout. Very, very good.
Her teammate Grantham was 9.775 in the second bar routine.
Here's that Shapashnikova again. Right into a bail handstand. That'll give her some bonus as well. And her dismount with that stuck landing. Very nicely done.
Here's Lexi Priestman up next on the runway for vault. Priestman is following a 9.85 score by Kelly.
Looked like she kind of got a little messed up in the air there. Didn't quite finish her full, but she made it work and she got the landing where she wanted it to be. So
there's not a lot of time to freelance, is there?
not at all. You got to be quick on your feet. Her rotation kind of stops. Her shoulder didn't completely finish the twist, but she recovered well.
Sarah Edwards and Kennedy Edney will be the last two vaulters for LSU, but first, Maggie Tamburo, a very good student. She's a biomedical engineering major.
It's a blind change. Right into a nice straddle. Jaeger looked like she pulled in a little bit on that. Nice handstand right on top.
She's had some issues with her left leg wearing the brace.
That dismount, nice double layout, small hop on the landing, but she wanted that stick.
Brooker scored 9.75 on the previous bar routine.
Nice bail handstand. And then the dismount again. Chest was a little down. She didn't quite finish that rotation. That's why she didn't stick it, but it was very close to a perfect landing.
And here's Sarah Edwards out of Ocean Springs, Mississippi, an inch below 5 feet in height, but a powerful vaulter.
Absolutely. She's got a very nice Yurchenko full and a half. And there it is. very powerful, very clean in the air, a lot of distance. And that landing is blind, so it's very, very difficult to stick a Yurchenko full and a half vault. Here it is again, beautiful height off the table. Her arms flare out for the landing and just takes a small step.
That's not a 10 vault, but she's got a 10 smile, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Caitlin Fillard up next. A senior from Center Reach, New York.
Hand to a clear hip handstand. Right into a nice Takachev.
What are the judges specifically looking for on bars routines?
Bars, they're looking for handstands. Handstands, stuck landings, and dismounts. So you want your dismount to be nice and high. You want your chest to be up. You want to squeeze those toes into the mat so you don't have to take a step. But overall, the biggest deduction, probably short handstands. Beautiful release. And then the dismount again. Nice double layout, just got her chest down on the landing, but overall a very solid routine.
Now Kennedy Edney will conclude LSU's vault following a 9.85 by Sarah Edwards. Kennedy Edney last week tied for the all-around title.
And she was NCAA champion on this event her freshman year. So, a lot to look forward to with this big vault she's got.
Pretty close to 10, don't you think?
Absolutely. She fought for that stick.
That was magnificent.
Here it is. A lot of power, a lot of height. And she got that landing.
And those ankles were absolutely together in the air. There was very little to certainly take away from that.
Absolutely. And she got the stick crown to start things off tonight.
Lauren Kent up on bars for North Carolina State. A sophomore from Willow Springs, North Carolina.
9.85 is her career high. All right, she did a Jaeger right into a bail. That is also bonus, so the gymnast won't start exactly from a 10. You have to connect certain skills in order to get tenths to build up to a 10.0 start value. That was a very nice routine.
It was.
Very nice.
Kennedy Edney, 9.95 in the final position on vault. As we take a look again at Lauren Kent.
You see that hop to handstand. And now her dismount, a huge double A. Sat back in her heels a little bit so she didn't stick it, but it was very, very close to a stuck landing.
North Carolina State will offer Katie Cox as an exhibition gymnast, a sophomore who's a marine sciences major. So this will not count toward the North Carolina State score, but an opportunity for Katie Cox in an environment like this to participate. And her routine will be scored, but it will not count among the North Carolina State regulars.
It's great to exhibition gymnasts that you know what you have. You can have depth in your lineups. You can put someone in and you can expect for them to hit like they would hit if their score was actually going to be counted. Cast handstand into a giant half. Bail hand. That bail handstand was beautifully done. Handstands right on top so far. To a very nice double layout. Had a lot of power on it.
So the first rotation is concluded. We'll take a break, but not before we look at the 9.95 from Kennedy Edney. 2 looks at this beautiful vault.
Absolutely. There it is. Huge height, huge distance, and she executes it perfectly.
LSU has the early lead. We will return in a moment.
First man to walk on the moon.
It'll be a hell of a ride.
We need to fail down here so we don't fail up there.
The entire world's watching.
3, 2, 1.
First man, only on Blu-ray.
This is the office of Tegu, a small toy company on Amazon. Here's the real office. These are some of their toys.
They're wooden blocks with magnets inside. Magnets. Magnets. It's magnets.
This is their secret for getting the magnets in there.
We don't share that information.
This is everything that goes into every box of Tegu toys. And you can support them on Amazon.
After one event, LSU 49.325. That came on vault. North Carolina State's bar score was 48.800. As we look at individual scores in the first rotation for LSU, Sarah Finnegan a 9.875, Ruby Harold a 9.8, McKenna Kelly a 9.850, Lexi Priestman's 9.75 was discarded, Sarah Edwards with a 9.850, and Kennedy Edney nearly perfect at 9.95. The Wolfpack bar scores, the large score was omitted, and it ranged from 9.75 to 9.775. Very consistent, but not as high as North Carolina State would like. So we will move on here with LSU holding an early lead. We'll be back as we continue between rotations on the SEC ESPN Network. College gymnastics, North Carolina State at 5th ranked LSU.
I can't believe they're actually doing this.
Is this even technology?
Do they just put CPAs in their software? Genius.
I'll never have to leave the house to do my taxes again.
Oh, that's not good, man. You need your vitamin D.
Why does everyone keep saying that?
Double-checked all your expenses, and I found another deduction for you.
Oh my gosh, a cat.
Wow, I've never seen you smile before.
Did I do it right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I see? It's nice.
TurboTax Live with CPAs on demand.
This is actually under your budget.
Yeah, and when you move in, Geico could help you save on renter's insurance.
Yep, Geico helped me with renter's insurance too.
The walls seem a bit thin.
It's a great building. You'll love it here.
We have mixers every Thursday.
Geico. After one rotation, the LSU Tigers 49.325. On vault, North Carolina State's bars scored 48.8. Let's take a look at upcoming schedules for both teams. First, for the Wolfpack, here's what's upcoming in the next 5 weeks. And for LSU, this is what will happen over the next 5 weeks. Tigers get back into SEC play against Kentucky in Lexington.
And then they'll head to gym quarters for a nice invitational meet against a few teams, Missouri, Arkansas, and then Georgia.
There are two very important dates coming up postseason for the LSU Tigers. The first, the first at March 23rd, the SEC Championships at the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. And then LSU will not have to go far for additional postseason.
Absolutely. Regionals will be held right here in the PMAC at the beginning of April, so that'll be really exciting for all Tiger fans who want to come to regionals.
So mark that on your sports calendars. March 23rd in New Orleans, the SEC Championship meet in the Smoothie King Center. And then April 4th, 5th, and 6th, 9 teams will descend on to Baton Rouge on one of 4 regionals. That'll be April 4th, April 5th, and April 6th. Look at the crowd here again. Very few empty seats in the Maravich Center. This sport continues to explode in popularity in Baton Rouge as we get set for the second rotation. LSU on bars and North Carolina State on vault. Here's the North Carolina State vault lineup. Robinson, Pratty, Fillard, the Phillips twins, and Grantham.
Meredith Robinson will be up first for NC State, and she is a freshman.
From Huntersville, North Carolina.
So what the judges are looking for in these vaults, obviously a lot of power. You want to get height, you want to get distance. You want to try to see the gymnast land in the middle of the landing mat. So that should kind of be your gauge for her distance. She competed a Yurchenko layout, so that will not start from a 10.0. She might be working through an injury, just trying to get her feet wet in the vault lineup.
Let's take a look at the bars lineup for LSU. Sammy Durante, Bridget Dean, Bailey Farrar, Ruby Harold, Kennedy Edney, and Sarah Finnegan.
On the uneven bars for your Fighting Tigers, Bridget Dean.
Bridget got a 9-8 last week versus Bama, and that was a career high for her.
This actually is Bridget Dean. We've had a change in the lineup for LSU. Durante was scratched, and so Bridget Dean is up first.
She's doing a great job so far. Beautiful hit handstands, nice toe hands. Bail handstand down to the low bar. Now she sets up for the dismount. Nice double layout, small hop on the landing, but overall a great start for LSU on bars. Here's her toe hand again, right down to the low bar, a nice bail handstand.
By the way,
dismount again.
Kaylee, this year through 4 weeks, LSU has the 4th best national average on bar scores, ranking 4th on bars, 6th in vault, 4th on beam, and 5th on floor.
Here's a Yurchenko tuck full. Pretty nicely done. Not a lot of height, but executed pretty well, very clean. Here it is again. Little bent elbows on the table caused her to not get enough block to get that distance, but overall a very consistent and clean vault.
The first vault score for Meredith Robinson was 9.525. And now Bailey Ferrer up for LSU.
And
Bridget Dean had a 9.775 to open the bars routine.
This is Bailey's collegiate debut on bars. Goes for her release move, a nice straddle. Jaeger, she had to reach for that bar on that one, but she got it done. Bail handstand. She goes for her dismount. A nice double layout, small hop on the landing, but overall your first time out, you just want a nice, clean, consistent routine, and that's what Bailey delivered for LSU tonight.
Previously, she had participated in vault and the floor, and her first collegiate offering on bars.
Small form deductions here and there throughout her bar routine, and a little short on some of those handstands, but that will come with time and maturity as she gets into the bar lineup a little bit more consistently.
Caitlin Fillard for North Carolina State, following a 9.7 vault by her teammate Tori Pratty.
Nice speed going down the runway, and a pretty nicely done Yurchenko layout full.
You know what's interesting to me in watching both teams get ready for vault, they are like very precise where they start, where they try to land. It's like a high jumper or a long jumper, you know, whose approach is so precise, and each one is different.
Absolutely. I used to have chalk footprints down the runway, and they'd be in exactly the same spot every time.
Ferrer was 9.825 on bars. Indeed, a very solid score in her debut.
Ruby Harold, release down to the low bar. She's been very consistent on this event for LSU, very clean. Nice straddle Jaeger. And a hop right into her double front dismount and sticks the landing. That was as good as you could ask for in that dismount. That was beautiful.
For the Tigers.
The only event that Ruby Harold has not participated in this year has been beam. She's had a 9.925 on bars, and this is a very nice routine.
She definitely put up a good score.
Here's Paris Phillips, a senior from Athens, Georgia. 9.8 has been her best vault this year.
Yurchenko layout full small hop on the landing, but she got some distance on that vault.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to judge. You be the judge for Ruby Harold's bar routine. You're cheating because you just heard it announced, but what would you have given it?
I would have gone 9.9.
And the judges went 9.925, so you were right on. Here's Kennedy Edney. Look at that bar's average of 9.917. That's remarkable.
Extremely consistent. Nice hit handstand. Huge Hindorf on the high bar for her release move.
She's a junior now, but it didn't take long for her to make her mark nationally as a first-year gymnast a couple of years ago.
Absolutely. She hit the ground running as soon as she got into college, and she's been doing great things for LSU ever since.
Such grace. Such grace.
Very, very nice. Small step on the landing, but overall there were not many deductions.
And she's a little taller than the average gymnast. It gives her that illusion of the long lines on the bars.
Absolutely. See that release move once again, and now her dismount. Watch how high she gets. Beautiful double layout, and then that tiny, tiny hop on the landing. She almost got the stick.
This is Alexa Phillips, the twin sister of Paris Phillips. Both are seniors from Athens, Georgia.
And another nice Yurchenko layout full. Little pike down on the landing. That's why she took that step, but overall very well executed. See that vault again. Tiny pike down with the chest down on the landing, but very nice.
Kennedy Edney scored 9.9. So the Tigers have had some big scores early.
Absolutely. You want to start strong and finish stronger, so that's the name of the game right now for the Tigers.
Lexi Priestman.
Nice hit handstand. Huge Tkachev. Immediately into a pack salto down to the low bar. She's very sharp with her bar routine. Everything is very exact and very tight every time she does it.
9.95 has been her best.
Tiny hop on the landing, but man, that was a great routine. She was having some shoulder issues earlier this week, so was unsure if she would be in the lineup, but did not seem to bother her. That routine was beautiful. Beautiful double layout. Very nicely done.
When you make it look easy, you know you've done well. Drew Grantham from Durham, North Carolina, a junior.
She won the Eagle Championships last year on this event, and I can see why. That Yurchenko layout full was beautiful. It was very, very high, and she landed almost in the back of that landing mat.
First score for the Tigers, Lexi Priestman, 9.90.
Nice height, small hop backwards, but other than that, very well done.
There you see vault coach Philip Ogletree, who used to be here at LSU.
Absolutely, he was here for a few years, and I was actually coached by him.
Sarah Finnegan. She has been lights out on this event.
Absolutely.
Look at the height, the quick air.
Her toe point, it's just beautiful to watch. Bail handstand, toe shoot right back up to the high bar. Big double layout with a stuck landing. You can't ask for much more.
She looks like she landed in quicksand.
Absolutely. Her feet were glued to that mat, and she got the stick ground.
A very nice event for LSU.
Beautiful bar rotation from LSU from start to finish.
Sarah Finnegan anchoring it. And we'll be back to update you on scores and a lot more between rotations after this timeout. We come to the midway point of North Carolina State and fifth-ranked LSU. The Tigers, after 2 rotations, 98.825. North Carolina State at 97.475. And a wonderful bars score of 49.5 for LSU. You see the individuals. This was just a scotch behind the previous best of 49.525 against Florida earlier this season, but very, very good score in bars for LSU. This was an event LSU broke through nationally last year, and there's the Wolfpack vault scores, a low of 9.7 and a high of 9.775. So we move on between rotations. LSU leading by better than a point after 2 events over North Carolina State. We'll be back with more from the Maravich Center after this timeout.
These days, we all feel a little anxious sometimes. So I'm partnering with Cigna to remind you that how you're doing emotionally affects you physically. Go for your annual checkup and be open with your doctor about anything you're feeling, physically and emotionally, body and mind.
I know it may sound simple, that doesn't mean it isn't true. I don't know what I'd be if I was me without you.
Hey, Portal, answer. Hey, Mom. Hi, honey. Hi. So nice to see you. Thank you for our dinosaur. You are welcome. Bye. I love you guys. I love you too.
Welcome back to the Maravich Center on the campus of LSU for college gymnastics. Fifth-ranked LSU, 98.825. North Carolina State, 97.475. Midway through this meet. Let's take a look at nationally teams ranked in the Road to Nationals top 20, and a lot of SEC schools are represented.
7 out of 8 SEC teams are in the top 20 this week, so that just shows you how powerful SEC gymnastics is.
Florida and Georgia, or Florida and LSU, are the top 2 ranked SEC teams. As you look at the second 10, Auburn is in there, and Missouri and Kentucky. And Arkansas just out of the top 20 at number 24 this week. All of these teams are vying for a postseason championship opportunity and a new format this year to get to that final 8.
Absolutely. There will be a few different regionals around the country. 2 teams will emerge from each of those regionals to go on to compete at the NCAA championships. And instead of the Super 6, where 6 teams compete for the national championship, now there will be just 4.
The regional in Baton Rouge is April 4th, 5th, and 6th. On the first day, there will be seeds 9 and 8 in a dual meet. The winner of that will join the pack for the middle day, which is 2 4-team meets, and then 4 left on the final day. 2 out of that 4 will move on to the championship round. So I like the new format.
I do too. It elevates the stakes for college gymnastics, and it will really push some teams to be even better.
Look at this crowd. Not an empty seat to be had in the Maravich Center as we get set for the 3rd rotation. And we'll take a look at the beam lineup for the LSU Tigers. Lazario, Dean, Kelly, Edney, Campbell, and Finnegan on beam.
Last week, Christina Desiderio opened up the beam rotation with a 9.85 versus Alabama.
And a very solid score there. LSU ranked 4th this week nationally on beam.
LSU's beam lineup has been very, very consistent.
This is one of my favorite things in all of sports because of the varied skills that come to play and the mental toughness you have to have.
Beam is definitely more mental than it is physical. It's a beautiful flight series, a back handspring layout, step out. Full turn, that is a required element on the balance beam, and although it is very easy, it's an easy thing to mess up on too. So she broke that leap connection.
And of course, this year, beam workers have to be moving a little more quickly than they did in the past.
Absolutely. There is a tempo rule that is put in place, and they cannot wait more than 2 seconds before doing a skill. So you want to make sure that you are really moving throughout your routine.
She hung on to the landing. A solid start for LSU on beam for Christina Desiderio. Now we look at the opening floor routine for North Carolina State.
First on the floor exercise for NC State, Caitlin Willard.
There you see the lineup.
Last week on this event, she got a 9-7 to lead off with.
And the Wolfpack howl starts it all.
It's cool to see how each different college team has their own thing. The Gator Chomp, the Howl, we have the Tiger Roar. So it's really cool to see how they incorporate that into their floor routines. Opens up with a beautiful double pike, a nice stuck landing.
Not much wrong with that.
Not at all. Her jump series, that is also a required element on the floor exercise. You have to connect leaps and jumps together in order to get bonus points so that you can build back up to a 10.0, because not all routines start from a 10 until you put the elements in place to get that bonus to add up to that 10.0 start value. Nice 4.5 to a front pike. Her final tumbling pass. See if she can finish strong here. And ends with a very nice double tuck. She made that last pass look easy. She had a lot of energy.
North Carolina State in the national rankings on floor, number 38 this week.
See that opening tumbling pass again. A nice double pike with a beautiful stuck landing. And then that ending pass, a nice double tuck, a little low on the landing with the chest, but overall, very, very well done.
Christina Desiderio was 9.725 on the first beam, and here's Bridget Dean, who's at a 9.75 average on this apparatus.
Last week at Alabama, she got a career-high score of a 9.825, and that is a great place to have a career high because it is not an easy place to do a fantastic beam routine.
How much difference is there in the meet beam from the practice beams that you work on all week?
I actually think LSU has a few that they practice on, and then they may take that same beam from the practice facility and put it in here. So I think some schools may do that, but when you go other places, it does definitely take a few turns to get used to the beam because every beam feels way different.
They're all 4 inches wide, but there are some special characteristics I'm hearing you say. Some of them are subtly different than others.
Yep, every beam is definitely different, and you got to make sure you warm up well so that you can make sure you're comfortable. Side aerial into a back pull, small step on the landing, but overall a pretty nice routine. It's her side aerial right into a back handspring, and that is her acro series, and that is a very difficult acro series and not one that you see all the time, so she did it very well.
Melissa Brooker out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
It's that first tumbling pass. Nice double tuck, little chest down on that landing. You'll notice that 4-inch mat in the corner. It's no deduction to use a mat. Sometimes the gymnasts just like it to kind of ease the landing a little bit. Floor can be very tough on your ankles.
I asked you about the beam, what differences there might be. I hear gymnasts say there are noticeable differences at times on the floor exercise.
Absolutely. Some floors are very tight and some floors are very bouncy. So in warm-up, you'll see a lot of the gymnasts just jumping just to try to get the timing of the floor because it definitely changes your tumbling passes.
Again, the 2-second rule applies to this event as well.
Yes, you definitely don't want any long pauses. If you're late on the music, that will incur a deduction as well.
Let's update you on the LSU beam. Bridget Dean with a 9.775.
Front layout into a front full. Very nicely done. A pretty solid routine. She goes for that first tumbling pass, a nice double tuck. Chest down on the landing a little bit, but she recovered well. And then a front layout directly connected into a front full.
Next up on the screen for your Fighting Tigers, McKenna Kelly.
This is McKenna Kelly's first collegiate debut on the balance beam, so I'm very excited to see how she does here. She's been working very hard to break into this lineup. Beautiful 2-foot backhand into a layout step out.
And of course, the perfunctory mention of her mom. Mary Lou Retton. Still perhaps the most recognizable name in all of American gymnastics.
Absolutely. She's doing a great job so far. She's got nice tempo. She looks very calm and confident, and that is exactly what you want in a beam worker. Standing layout step out into a straddle jump. A little problem on that landing.
This is one cool customer, though.
Absolutely. Carl Gainer into a layout full, and she sticks the landing. Very nice for her first debut on balance beam. It's not an easy event to compete.
She's got that magnetic personality, but when you add the turmoil of coming back from the Achilles tendon tear last year and the courage she has exhibited and the hard work to get back into varsity form, certainly that makes her even more popular among her teammates and this crowd.
Absolutely, and a great role model for all the little kids that look up to her and follow her on social media. It's a great thing to see her hard work come to fruition and for everybody to be able to see what hard work does.
Nicole Webb.
Sets up for that first tumbling pass.
Webb is a sophomore from Morrisville, North Carolina.
Very nice double pike, very high.
And some dramatic music.
Absolutely. Switch ring into a wolf full. Very nice leap connection.
Do you recall what your music was? Did it change over the course of your career?
It changed every year, but it had a similar theme. I always liked drums and more tribal type music. So,
a lot of drums?
Yeah, a lot of drums. Very upbeat. Very fast. I was very exhausted by the end of that. Final tumbling pass. 4.5 to a front pike. She didn't quite twist that 4.5 all the way around, but she made that front pike out of it work. All right, there's that double pike again. Very nice. Just moved that front foot a little bit, but very high tumbling pass. And that full and a half, you'll see she didn't quite get all the way around. That caused a little bit of an issue on that front pike right out of it, but she definitely recovered well.
Up next on beam, Kennedy Edney. You're going to see grace. You're going to see power. You're going to see flexibility.
Last week she got a 9.925 at Alabama. Beautiful front aerial right into a Sassoon.
Normally just so solid, no wavers.
She's very confident in her gymnastics.
No wobbles, just made out of granite on that 4-inch beam.
Yep. She's in her zone. Switch late right into a straddle quarter. She's doing a great job so far. LSU has really put together a great beam team. They're all so confident. Very nice front toss and a piked position. She sets up for her dismount. Couldn't quite get that stick on that round off full and a half, but overall a very solid routine from Kennedy Edney.
Just a few minor deductions here and there.
There's that acro series, back handspring layout step out, beautifully done. And that round off full and a half with a small step on that landing.
Welcome to the American Center. Best of luck to you and the Fighting Tigers over at the box all season long. Go Tigers! Next on board for NC State, Alexa Phillips.
Here's Alexa Phillips.
She is all eagle on floor, and her career high is a 9.9. Beautiful double Arabian to start out with. That is an E-level pass, which is one of the hardest skills that you could do. The skills range from A as the easiest to E as the most difficult.
And when you mention EAGLE, that stands for East Atlantic Gymnastics League, which is the league North Carolina State participates in.
Round off full and a half right into a front layout.
North Carolina is in that league. George Washington, Pittsburgh, New Hampshire, and Towson. Can you imagine how these twin sisters must have pushed each other during their career?
It's got to be quite a cool experience with a little bit of rivalry mixed in there. Really get to push each other. Final tumbling pass. Front handspring full and a half, a D-level skill, so she finished very strong. She had a lot more difficulty than the routines before her, so that will really be something that the judges are going to look at. There's that first tumbling pass again, a huge double Arabian. Landed a little bit low and took a small hop, but overall very well done.
Kennedy Edney's bar score was 9.825. And Reagan Campbell is up next. 9.867 average, very solid on beam.
She's been a mainstay in the beam lineup since her freshman season last year. Nice backhand layout, step out, small wobble.
Reagan is ranked 23rd in the country this week on beam.
Front aerial into a beautiful Sassoon. Look at her releve. She's completely up on high toe. And she finishes each dance move through her fingertips, and that's also something the judges are going to take into consideration while judging this routine. So the dismount, round-off double full, a small hop on the landing, and had a few wobbles here and there throughout the beam routine, but she did it well. So that front aerial into a Sassone. You want your legs to be completely split at 180 degrees, and then that dismount again.
And now Alexa Phillips' twin sister, Paris Phillips.
She got a 9.8 last week in their last meet versus UNC.
What do the judges like to see? What are the required elements of this event?
So you need to have 2 flips directly connected in a row. And she opened with the same pass as her sister, a nice double Arabian. You need to have 2 skills directly connected to each other. In order to get some bonus, you've got to have leaps and jumps directly connected, just like she just did. You need to also have 3 different shape changes within your skills. So you can't just do all tucks. You have to change it up a little bit. And believe it or not, they take into consideration your choreography. Is it interesting? Is it creative? If not, they can definitely take a deduction for that as well.
You know, when you look at old tape of floor exercises, they do not resemble what you see today. They were a little stayed by today's standards.
Absolutely. The music has definitely changed, and the choreography. The crowd definitely gets more involved. She finished with a Rudy. The judges are obviously also looking for those landings. You want your landings to be stuck, and you want them to be inbound so that you don't get a deduction for that as well. Just that first tumbling pass again. A huge double Arabian. Very nicely done. She stuck it very well. And then that 4.5 directly connected to a front layout. So very much a requirement to have those 2 skills directly connected, and she did it very well.
Reagan Campbell was 9.825 on beam, and Sarah Finnegan is the beam anchor right now for LSU. This is so elegant.
Everything that she does on every single event, but especially balance beam, is just beautiful to watch. From her fingers to her toes, everything is very precise and beautiful.
And some interesting opens usually for beam for Sarah Finnegan.
Nice back handspring layout step out. Very uncharacteristic small wobble on that flight series though.
Paris Phillips was 9.825 for North Carolina State on the mat.
Sarah has proven to be one of the nation's top beam workers. Beautiful side summy. Just the dismount, side aerial directly connected into a back layout. Very nice. Just that small wobble on her flight series. Other than that, it was pretty flawless.
The SEC Gymnast of the Year in 2018.
It is just dropped her left shoulder a little bit at the end of that layout. And then a beautiful stuck landing to finish off the routine.
Drew Grantham will be the final floor participant for North Carolina State.
She has scored a 9.9 on this event, so she's definitely capable of that big score.
Grantham is the only North Carolina State participant in the all-around.
Huge double tuck and bounced out of it because she had so much power at the end. that league series. You also want to make sure you're making eye contact with the judges. You're pulling them into your floor routine, making them feel like they're part of it and that they can get excited with you while you're doing it. Lay out to a nice layout half. Just got one more tumbling pass to finish up this floor rotation. Huge double pike, just lunged back a little bit on that landing, but she put up a pretty good floor routine for the Wolfpack.
So let's step aside here as we look at Sarah Finnegan again on beam for LSU as we get set to go to the final rotation. Sarah Finnegan, a 9.95 on beam. What a way to wrap it up for LSU. We'll be back in a moment with more on the SEC ESPN network.
Aren't you supposed to draw it first?
I'm freestyling, bro.
Networks, like tattoo artists, should never be just okay. AT&T is America's best wireless network according to America's biggest test. Now with 5GE.
There's one more rotation to be held in the Maravich Center tonight. North Carolina State and LSU. You see the updated score after 3 events. LSU with a 147.925 and North Carolina State at 146.45. But some good news for North Carolina State. The floor exercise was the best score they've had this year. And you see the individual scores there for North Carolina State on floor, but they did a 48.975 on floor, and that's the best they've had in 2019. Here's what LSU did on beam. A low of 9.725 and a high of 9.95 for the LSU Tigers. So we've got one rotation to go. North Carolina State on beam, LSU on floor. And we'll be back to take a look at that as we conclude the meet.
So I have this recurring dream. I'm 85 years old in a job where I have to wear a giant hot dog suit.
What? Where's that coming from?
I don't know. I started my 401k early. I diversified. I'm not a big spender.
That sounds like you're doing a lot.
But I still feel like I'm not going to have enough for retirement. Like there's something else I should be doing.
With the right conversation, you might find you're doing okay.
So no hot dog suit.
Unless you want to.
No.
Schedule a complimentary goal planning.
One more event to go. You see the up-to-the-moment scores. LSU with a 147.925. North Carolina State at 146.450. And in the background, you see no empty seats. For the last 2 or 3 seasons, LSU has blossomed, exploded in popularity of gymnastics in Baton Rouge. And the enthusiasm of that young lady after 42 years of coaching gymnastics at LSU, Dee Bro, the dean of all Southeastern Conference coaches in all sports, inducted into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame in 2017, known across the country for her enthusiasm, her ebullience, the backing of the sport that she's had even when LSU has not been among the elite. It's been a consistent 42 years for Dee Bro. Absolutely. And there is her mother, Betty Granny B. Bro, Dee Dee's mom, well known among the gymnastics community herself.
Absolutely, always very supportive of Dee Dee in her gymnastics career as a little girl, and even now, as you see, coming to meets on Friday nights, just supporting LSU gymnastics and her daughter.
What most folks may not know about Dee Bro, she is a fervent fisherwoman. She loves to get in that kayak and ply some of those redfish and speckled trout out of the South Louisiana marshes.
Absolutely, that's one of her favorite places to be.
Got the tiger skin working. Let's take a look at the beam lineup for North Carolina State. Harrison, Kent, Nelson, Villard, Webb, and Grantham. LSU with a comfortable lead going into the final rotation. Aaliyah Harrison is the first competitor for North Carolina State.
She competed last week and put up a score of a 9.7. Being that first person up on beam, you want to be consistent. You want to set the tone for the rest of the lineup.
And you don't want to fall.
You do not. That is the goal. Back handspring layout, step out, very nicely done. Just keeping her movements consistent and flowing. Switch leap into a straddle quarter. Wobble there, but she recovered. You'll notice the music in the background. LSU will play their own music for their girls. The girls each get to pick what song they want to do beam to. And then for the opposing team, sometimes they'll let you bring your own song with you to play during your beam routine, and sometimes the other team chooses. Good way to calm the nerves and kind of help you get in your own zone.
So that's the safety net routine. She stayed on the beam. So there's still room for something, for a calamity, without hurting the team score. Ruby Harold, Christina Desiderio, Sarah Edwards, Kennedy Edney, Sarah Finnegan, and McKenna Kelly anchoring tonight. And they call it floor time here at LSU, and you hear the crowd responding as the Tigers get ready to open the floor routine with Ruby Harold.
This is definitely the event that all of these fans look forward to the most.
LSU traditionally has been very good on floor, ranked 5th in the country right now.
They always have big tumbling, amazing choreography, and it just gets better year after year. Ruby opens up. A huge tumbling pass. Couldn't quite get it all the way around, didn't have enough height. So front handspring double full.
That's a very unusual error for her. Now you've got to forget about it and make the best of the rest of it.
You definitely have to have a short memory in all of athletics, but especially gymnastics.
Nice.
Because in the event that something else happens, you want to be sure that you finish this routine to the best of your ability in case your score needs to count. Ashley Claire Kearney Thigpen does the choreography for LSU and has for years, and she's always done such an amazing job. I always look forward to seeing what she's come up with.
That's when she's not practicing law.
Absolutely, yes. She's got a lot on her plate. Last tumbling pass was a little weird for Ruby. She fell on it. It's like her legs gave out a little bit at the end of that last 1.5.
So for her, somewhat of a disappointing routine. She normally is much, much better than that.
Very uncharacteristic.
Let's go to beam. Lauren Kent. She's not had a lot of success yet on beam this year. 9.425 is her best. She's a sophomore from Willow Springs, North Carolina. That's such a beautiful state. So much diversity.
It's that full turn. She does it nicely. Her acro series, back handspring, into a layout step out. Very confident with that landing. She knew she had it right on. Leap into a straddle quarter. You can tell she's very confident up on the balance beam. Very poised. Big jump. into a standing layout step out. She's got a great routine going so far. Cartwheel into a gainer layout full with a stuck landing. Very, very nice routine from Lauren Kent. There's that flight series again. Back handspring into a layout step out. Her dismount, cartwheel, gainer layout full off the side. Nice stuck landing.
Well, Ruby Harold with a couple of errors in her routine, a 9.025.
It's definitely the score they're going to want to throw out. So let's start fresh with Christina Desiderio and see what she's got to bring to the table. Last week she had a little trouble on floor, but she's been training it well in the gym. First pass. Huge double layout, no problem with that this week. You could tell by her face, she knew that was good.
LSU is trying to bring Desiderio along on the floor.
She's really done a good job breaking into this lineup. Very powerful. A little low on that landing, but she stuck it.
She gets great lift quickly from the mat.
She does, and that's exactly what the judges are looking for as well. They look for a lot of things, but height and tumbling is another one of those elements that they're going to take if they don't see you get really high off the floor.
So far, so good.
Got a great routine. Just one more pass left to finish it off. A huge double pike, and she fought to get that stick.
This looks like it will easily be her best score this year.
And that's exactly what this floor lineup was needing. A little restart. That double layout, very nicely done. And then she finished off with a nice double pike. Little bent knees on that double pike, but overall a very, very good routine.
Well, we've seen baseball coach Paul Maneri at the meet tonight. We've seen softball coach Beth Torina at the meet. A lot of other coaches come and enjoy and support this LSU gymnastics program.
Definitely is a little family. All the coaches really do a good job of going to each other's meets and tournaments and games, so it's really cool to see. Front aerial into a back layout step out. That was her acro series. She did it very well.
Casey Nelson up on beam.
A nice leap series. NC State has a great beam rotation going so far. The girls have been very confident on beam, very consistent.
Desiderio's floor score was 9.825.
Cat leap right into a side summy. Aerial right into a back layout full with a stuck landing. Another solid routine.
It was.
Score for the Tigers, Christina Desiderio, 9.825.
See her switch leap series. And then her dismount. Very nicely done. They got a good thing going over on beam.
Here's Sarah Edwards, the third competitor on floor for the Tigers. A 9.813 has been her average this year.
Sarah was out for a few meets because she tweaked her knee in the warm-up against Florida a few weeks ago, so I'm happy to see her back in the lineup. A nice front handspring double full. She always looks like she's having so much fun out there. Really gets into her floor routine, always smiling. kicked out of that double tuck a little too early, anticipating that landing.
9.875 has been her career best score. You know, you mentioned the knee difficulty she had. It's amazing the depth of injuries that incur to all gymnastics teams. This is a very physically demanding sport, and very few people are 100% healthy from mid-year on.
I would say that most are not. It really does take a toll on your body, and you feel it even after you're done.
A lot of loose joints, a lot of sore muscles, a lot of stretched tendons and ligaments.
Right, a pretty good routine. Had some trouble on some landings here and there, but that'll come with time as she gets used to being back out on the competition floor. Here's that pass, double layout. You see her just kick out just a little too soon. That caused her to get her chest down and land a little short. And that 2-flip pass was pretty nicely done.
Kennedy Edney will be next on floor for LSU, but first we go back to beam. Caitlin Collard, 9.8, has been her best this year.
She won beam at the Michigan State season opener. She's capable of a pretty big score on beam.
She rolls on.
That's the name of the game. If you want to stay on the beam, you better grip those toes. Nice switch leap. Jump connection. We talked about another required element to have in your beam routine. Nice front toss, landed a little bit low on that.
Sarah Edwards was 9.8 on floor for LSU, and a very solid routine there on beam.
Floor score for the Tigers, Sarah Edwards, 9.80.
See her dismount again. A nice gainer layout full. Very solid beam rotation so far.
Here comes Kennedy Edney.
Kennedy Edney.
This routine, you're just going to see huge tumbling.
LSU feels like, even as good as she's been at times this year, that there is a lot more to be gained on floor exercise from Kennedy Edney. She is especially talented.
Absolutely. And you'll see from this big opening pass, a huge double Arabian. Had some trouble on that landing.
Didn't quite get there.
No, she kicked out a little too soon, just didn't have enough power. Floor is an event where it does take a little bit of time, especially during season, to get those landings perfectly right. That one she had no problem with, though. That was beautifully done. She always has so much energy throughout her floor routine. When Ashley Claire Kearney choreographs them, she really tries to play to each girl's personality, and I think she does such a fantastic job. I think it showcases each girl's personality to a T.
Two performers are left on floor for LSU, Sarah Finnegan and McKenna Kelly. So an early problem in that routine, but a nice recovery.
Yep, absolutely. She did recover well. She let it go and finish her routine very nice. That second tumbling pass was beautiful. And then that double tuck just landed a little bit short, but she got her chest up to try to cover it up.
Nicole Webb.
She transferred from the University of Florida. And
she's a sophomore from Morrisville, North Carolina.
She actually anchored beam for Florida in her collegiate debut versus Georgia and got a 9.725. So that's pretty big for them to put a freshman in as your anchor.
Edney was 9.75 on floor.
Nicole has beautiful lines, a beautiful toe point. Everything is very poised and very elegant. Front aerial. Slight balance check. Got a solid routine going so far. Just the dismount left. And a nice round off double full to finish off that beam set. Very, very well done. There's that flight series back handspring layout step out. Right on the beam, perfectly executed. And that round off double full dismount, very nicely done.
Well, a little pizzazz coming to the floor now with Sarah Finnegan, number 5 in the lineup. 9.933 her average this year. Get ready for something special if she's on her game.
Absolutely. Power and grace. She really does have the whole package. Round off 4.5 step out. Immediately into a 2.5. And that was flawless.
She normally puts more elements into the floor routine than most people.
She does. She's definitely a flipper and a twister. She's got it going on. Very nice. She knew exactly where she was. She saw the floor and she You'll notice her form. Every time she puts her ankles together, they are together perfectly.
Everything has a purpose, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it does. And she is very precise with every movement that she makes. Switch ring into a split half. All of her leaps are completely 180 degrees, or over, I should say. And that is something that the judges are going to be looking for. Final tumbling pass. Huge double pike. She landed a little short as well. But overall, a very nice routine. That was the only thing that I saw that was wrong with
it. Sarah Finnegan will have a big score.
There's that first tumbling pass again. And it was perfectly executed, directly in the corner, ankles glued together, toes pointed. And then that final tumbling pass, she kicks out of the double tuck, and she grabs the landing.
Drew Grantham, the best on this apparatus for North Carolina State, 9.825, her season's best.
Little trouble on that jump series. You might want to ad-lib and try to add something in there, because if you don't, then your start value could be a little bit lower than a 10-0.
How much time are you allotted on the beam?
You get a minute 10.
A lot happens in that time, doesn't it?
A lot happens. You don't want to go overtime, though.
North Carolina State is ranked 37th in the country on beam.
Side aerial drops her shoulder. But overall, her tempo is very, very nice. She keeps the beam moving. Every movement she's making is very quick and precise. Round off, 4.5. Small step back on the landing, but overall, very well executed beam routine.
Tiger fans, please turn your attention behind the balance beam to our student section.
That flight series, backhand layout step out, Small wobble, but she hung on to that landing.
You are the best student section in all.
And then the dismount. Very nicely done.
Thank you. And we look forward to seeing you back again and again and again the rest of the season. And Tiger fans, a hand to you. Tonight's attendance, 11,515 Tiger fans.
Well, we talked about the huge crowd on hand all night. The numbers verify it, 11,515 on hand in the building tonight as McKenna Kelly wraps up the floor exercise for LSU.
And now, Tiger fans, your floor anchor for LSU, please welcome McKenna Kelly.
I don't know if Mary Lou Retton is here tonight, but she doesn't miss mini meets.
Not at all.
If she's not in person, I know her eyes are glued on the apparatus of choice through the SEC ESPN network.
No problems with that landing. She did a huge double layout. Perfectly stuck. Bringing the energy, bringing the crowd into her floor routine.
Her personality is suited to this because it's a let-her-rip routine.
That second tumbling pass. Front layout into a front full. Didn't even have to take the lunge out of it. She stuck it with 2 feet.
That's a little bit different, isn't it?
Yep, you'll see some gymnasts want to take that lunge out and some gymnasts like to stick it perfectly. It's personal preference and depends on how you landed that particular tumbling pass. There's no lack of energy in this floor routine at all. She's getting her teammates involved. Takes a deep breath before this final tumbling pass. Very well done. It's exactly what the Tigers needed to cap off this floor rotation.
This will not be the best floor rotation of the season for LSU. There were some uncharacteristic errors, but certainly McKenna Kelly continues to come on strong as she returns from that torn Achilles.
Yeah, she definitely came back and hit a great floor set as the anchor. Beautiful double layout, nice height, beautiful landing.
The crowd is chanting 10. I don't know if that's going to happen, but this was pretty good.
If it's not, it'll be very close to a 10.
9.975.
So what that means is one judge gave her a 10 and the other gave her a 9.95. So
pretty darn close to perfection. That ties her career high on floor exercise. And I would say, based on what we just saw, she's got to feel like she's back from that injury.
Absolutely. She's got to feel very good about her performance and how she came out and competed, not only on floor, but she debuted on beam as well.
Here's the Wolfpack beam scores. 9.825 the highest, that coming from Webb. And LSU on floor, certainly not its best of the year, but McKenna Kelly with a superb performance at 9.975 to win the event. Sarah Finnegan at 9.875. And the LSU Tigers have gone over 197 total for the meet. 197.150, defeating North Carolina State, who had 195.375. That was a season high, by the way, for North Carolina State in meets this year. But the Tigers win it in the Maravich Center before more than 11,500 fans. Dee Dee Bro will join us in a moment as we continue on the SEC ESPN Network.
Hi, Susan. Honey.
Yeah?
I respect that, but that cough looks pretty bad. Try this new Robitussin honey.
The real honey you love, plus the powerful cough relief you need.
Mind if I root through your trash?
New Robitussin honey, because it's never just a cough.
It was a winning effort tonight for the LSU Tigers, 5th ranked in the land this week, a 197.150 win over North Carolina State, which checked in with 195.3 7-5. With Kaylee Dixon of Boot, I'm Lynn Rollins, joined by the Dean of SEC Coaches, Dee Bro. Dee, what did you like? What did you not like tonight?
I liked bars a lot. I liked vaulting. I thought we vaulted well, not great, not like we've seen, but certainly a 49.3 was okay. But the second half of the meet, I'm not endeared to give a whole bunch of praises, with the exception of McKenna Kelly. We put her in on beam, and it's first time out in probably 3 years on beam, and did a great job. It's going to get better, and I'm hoping I can keep it in the lineup. But Sarah Finnegan, Reagan Campbell, they supported the end of the lineup and did a great job for us.
Sarah Finnegan wins the all-around yet again. 5 starts, 5 wins for her. Kennedy Edney second. And a season-high 9.95 for Edney on vault.
And it was a good vault. I mean, she stuck the vault. The performance was great. I really, McKenna Kelly, I got to give her, she 3 great events tonight. I mean, she didn't do the best on beam, but I've been wanting to get her in 3 events. I got her in 3 events. So, and Kennedy Edney gave us three good events. Floor was lackluster, and they looked tired and weak-legged, and so we got to get better. We got to get better.
Going into next week, Dee, what's your plan?
Going into next week, I think we go to Kentucky. I take them one at a time. Trying to get in a good week. We will come in Sunday afternoon and practice. Won't watch the Super Bowl, and we're gonna try to be a little more consistent on these last 2 events.
So week 5 is in the books now. You've got 7 more meets during the regular season. Where are you now, and where do you think this team can go?
I'd like this team to be in 3rd or 4th place going into the SECs, and then of course regionals, hosting regionals. We want to be in that last rotation, and so we're gonna have to kind of get our act together. And we knew it was going to be a slow start this season. We knew where we were going to be starting, and having to pull people in and out of the lineup right now is not exactly allowing us to build consistency.
Well, incrementally, the Tigers are on the way up, though, and congratulations on this victory.
Thank you.
I know you're a perfectionist.
You can't give away the kind of stuff we gave away tonight and beat a team that's in the top 10.
Well, we appreciate you coming by and offering your opinion. Congratulations on this victory.
We'll take the win. A win is a win.
Absolutely. So that's the story from Baton Rouge this evening, as the LSU Tigers, before 11,515 fans, defeat North Carolina State 197.150 to 195.375. To watch this entire meet on replay, as well as others on our family of ESPN networks, log on to WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Thank you.